It's a game that began over a century ago, fueled by its close proximity, bordered by an imaginary line. This Arkansas LSU historic rivalry resides on both sides and has had lasting effects. To the loser, disappointment and disgust. To the winner, lifelong memories and a golden prize.
Say goodbye, Trendon Holiday.
The pass is intercepted. The Razorbacks have beaten the #1 team in the country. Down the right sideline for Crawford. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Hands of Velcro. Touchdown, LSU.
Oh! Are you kidding me?
For 16 of the last 18 games, LSU and Arkansas have met on the day after Thanksgiving. They began awarding the Golden Boot back in 1996. And today, it's the Home Depot, SEC on CBS. And here come the Fighting Tigers of LSU. 8-3 and looking for a bowl win to possibly catapult to Dallas for Cotton. And for Arkansas, a chance at long last for that elusive first SEC win under first-year coach Bret Bielema. A look at the standings in the most powerful division within any conference in college football shows you that the Iron Bowl seen tomorrow on this dynamic holiday weekend of SEC on CBS action awaits. LSU looking to hold on to elite status and possibly a 10-win season. Hello, everyone. Tim Brando by my side is Aaron Taylor. And after all of that about rivalry weekend, it's also senior day, partner.
Oh, buddy, senior day for me at Notre Dame. I was crying like a baby. Think about football. We're always trying to achieve something or do something or become something, but senior day is that rare opportunity where players get to reflect and celebrate what it is they've done and what they've been a part of.
And for LSU, they are coming off perhaps their most balanced and prolific performance against Texas A&M last week.
Yeah, they really wanted to prove a point after that Alabama game, and boy, did they last week against Texas A&M, Timmy. They controlled the line of scrimmage, pounding the football, averaging almost 6 yards per carry and running through arm tackles. They were dominant on that side of the ball, and Zach Mettenberger really rebounded. He's, had a couple tough games in the middle of the season, really efficient last week in that defense. There's not going to be a shootout. They took it personally, and they absolutely shut down the best offense that we've seen in quite some time for Texas A&M.
This is a rebuilding year for Arkansas, but for their first-year coach, Bret Bielema, one little trick he may have up his sleeve is in trophy games. He was a perfect 7-0 in the Paul Bunyan Axe, while the head coach of the Wisconsin Badgers, and he's down with the third member of our broadcast team, Christina Akra.
All right, thank you, Tim. Coach, you told us earlier this week how important rivalry games are to the culture of your program. What steps did you take to emphasize that to your team this week?
Well, it's a trophy week. We're playing for the Golden Boot. Great opportunity for our guys. Obviously, it hasn't been a great year in the one-loss record, but an opportunity today to make a statement about where we're at now and where we're going.
You've taken the field for the final time this season. What was the message to your guys before you ran out?
Take every snap for what it is. Play your unbelievable focus, effort. Take the fight from them. I don't want anybody backing down. Go out and have ourselves a little fun.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
There's a look at Alex Collins, the freshman of influence from Fort Lauderdale. Young man will eclipse 1,000 yards and has a chance to become the record holder for freshmen all time at Arkansas, passing the great Darren McFadden, who was on this field back in 2007, the last time the Razorbacks won in Baton Rouge. As you look at Les Miles, hard to believe, but already now his 13th season overall, 9th at LSU, and the kickoff is going to go through the end zone and will be a touchback. The Razorbacks will take over at their 25-yard line. Take a look at the Chick-fil-A starting lineups offensively for the Razorbacks, led by Brandon Allen, a homespun star from Fayetteville, has been banged up, a shoulder injury earlier this year, also gashed a leg along the way. You see the touchdown to interception ratio has been a bit of a problem, but he feels, in talking with him the other day, that he is now finally healthy. The calendar just worked against him to some extent. Fierro Small is the fullback, and dotting the I is the running back Williams. ahead for a couple of yards, and Lamine Barrow makes the stop. Weak side linebacker after a gain of 2 for LSU.
Yeah, that's going to be something we're going to see a lot of this week. And for Arkansas, it's about running the football, and that means that their center, Travis Swanson, the 4-year starter who's making his 50th start, he and his line mates are going to have to control this line of scrimmage today so that Brandon Allen doesn't have to try and beat the LSU Tigers with his arm.
2nd and 8. Across the middle they go. It's the wide receiver Keon Hatcher, number 4, just shy of the 30-yard line. DJ Welter, the middle linebacker, making the stop after a 3-yard gain. As you look at the Tigers defensively.
Yeah, they're a good unit that really responded well last week, and a big reason why is because of their senior linebacker, Lamine Barrow, who already made the first tackle this game. Leads his teammates, has tremendous instincts, Timmy, and I think we're about to see a very good 60-minute 9-on-7 drill. 2 offenses like to run the football, and that means that both of these teams are trying to control the line of scrimmage, and number 18 there certainly helps the Tigers do that.
Third down and 5. Pressure coming off the corner. And the pass incomplete. That's another example of a missed opportunity as Hatcher, the intended receiver, ball thrown a little low and out in front. And it'll be a punt formation after a 3-and-out for the Razorbacks. That's one of those that, unfortunately for Arkansas, they've missed a lot of open receivers this year.
Yeah, and one of the things that you want to do as an offense is simply get first downs and move the chains, and that was a blown opportunity. The ball was a little low and a little out in front of Hatcher, and as a result, they're punting to an offense that played pretty dang well last week.
Sam Irwin-Hill punts it away, and Odell Beckham will take it on the bounce. Outstanding punt and kick returner for LSU. 51-yard boot, a 5-yard return. We'll take a look now at the Chick-fil-A starting lineups for the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Zach Mettenberger with a chance to get beyond the 3,000-yard mark, joining the likes of Rohan Davey and Jamarcus Russell. And you see the numbers. Boy, did Cam Cameron become the offensive coordinator just in time for Zach. Arguably the most improved quarterback in terms of increasing his stock for the next level in all of college football this season. Jeremy Hill dots the I. Play fake. Looking for and finding underneath the tight end, incomplete. Travis Dixon, the intended receiver. Alan Turner, the free safety, was with him. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And that's one of the things that Cam Cameron will like to do on first down is a tendency breakers, throw the football. Just a great job breaking on the ball. Alan Turner timed that perfectly. Mettenberger could have gotten that ball out a little bit sooner and maybe hit Dixon earlier in that route after he broke it.
Yeah, he was open.
Now I think we'll see their run game.
Following the big fullback, Neighbors ahead for a couple of yards, and that's all. Maybe 3. We'll call it 3rd down and 7. Rest of that Tigers offense, offensive front that's improved over time.
Yeah, well, we showed you Zach Mettenberger's number, and the big reason why is because of Odell Beckham Jr. He's 2nd in the country in all-purpose yards. He's a big play receiver, averaging almost 20 yards per catch, and when you combine him with Jarvis Landry, this wide receiver duo is dang near unstoppable. A lot of weapons on this team, 2,000-yard receivers, and Odell Beckham Jr. is one of them.
With a little bunch formation, a little diamond to the near side. Mettenberger looks for Landry, and Jarvis has got it at midfield. First down, Brooks Ellis, the freshman middle linebacker, number 51 from Fayetteville, with the tackle, a 17-yard gain, and they hurry up.
A lot of good that you like on that play, particularly the protection. Mettenberger's got time. He's patient. He knows he's got a couple windows with the crossing Landry, and he found him.
LSU going hurry up early, and a miscommunication on that route by Cadron Boone. And Mettenberger, he was going out and up, and Mettenberger just with the quick out. As you look at the Arkansas defense, 2 bookend defensive ends, Smith and Flowers, to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be in Arkansas's best interest to be able to try and win 1st and 2nd down so that they can unleash Chris Smith, who's got 8.5 sacks, 2nd in the SEC this year. Pass rushing and getting after the quarterbacks, one of the things that Arkansas does well. But, Timmy, you got getting 2nd and 3rd and longs, and here is an opportunity on 2nd down.
Neighbors in motion. Mettenberger's pass incomplete. Going for the tight end, Dylan Gordon, number 85. Only 5 catches this season for the youngster from Edgewater, Louisiana, John Curtis High School, one of the outstanding high schools in South Louisiana. Jarvis Landry leading the NCAA in third down conversions this year, already with 1 today.
It'll be interesting to see here if Arkansas tries to bring pressure and rattle Mettenberger to get him off his spot. But you have to pick your poison, because if you do that, you put a lot of pressure on your back end.
Zach's pass is caught. Odell Beckham inside the 35. First down, Tigers at the 33. Tackle made again by Ellis, and another 17-yard pickup.
Already early in this ball game, Arkansas showing a lot of respect to this receiving duo. They're playing zone coverage, playing off, and Odell Beckham Jr. just does a good job of breaking his route off and finding the hole in the zone.
Quick pitch, one of their favorite plays to McGee. Terrence McGee, touchdown. .29 yards. That quick pitch is a base play for Les Miles. They run it game in and game out.
And Connor Neighbors just really did a good job of chopping down the play side linebacker. That's what this LSU team does. They run lead zone, weak side lead power. The fullback will take you to the promised land in this offense, and Neighbors certainly led the way on that last one for the early touchdown for McGee.
Colby Delahousse out of the hold of Seth Rouget for the extra point. That's a lot of French on your conversion, isn't it?
Boudin.
Right through the uprights. 3 plays on that drive of 15 or better yards, and McGee, the junior from Franklinton, took it right down the line. Tigers lead by 7. One of the 14 seniors on hand here today, quarterback Zach Mettenberger. And I think that in our conversation with him the other day, Aaron, refreshingly depressed about what was in store for him. That's the way to sum up the conversation.
No, it's rare that, Tim, we get a chance to see players take off the mask and the armor, but that young man right there, Zach Mettenberger, was very aware of what today meant, and you almost got the feeling that he wished he had more time.
Yeah, he said, you know, having played here at LSU and enjoyed it as much as I have, and to get Cam Cameron as my coach for 1 year, he did catch me at the most mature time of my collegiate career, but you could just hear in his voice and see in his posture that he wished the calendar could work the other way for just, maybe another 12 months or so.
Yeah, there's no question. All of us wish we had another time. I've got a couple years of eligibility left in me to see if I can get back out there, but such a special time and such a special influence and relationship that he and Cam Cameron have. I think I would have been interested to see him have a little bit more time as well.
That was a 70-yard, 1-minute, 59-second drive as the kick by Hairston goes to Corliss Marshall, and here comes the speedster. He can go now. Markers down as Marshall sets sail. They will likely bring this back, but how about that speed, huh? 100 yards, but a marker down at the 31-yard line.
Bielema's not going to be happy with that. That's a tremendous effort.
During the return, holding number 52 on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Dante Carr, reserve linebacker, 52, the guilty party. Our referee is Hubert Owens today. There's 52. He was holding on number 45 for LSU.
And it's really a shame, Tim, because LSU is so far out. You see it right there.
Yep.
LSU is so far out of their coverage lanes that this would have been a heck of a way to respond to what seemed to be a pretty effortless drive by this LSU offense.
Yeah, I don't think he needed that hold of Deion Jones either. Not with the speed Marshall had. He got through that gap in a heartbeat.
Speed kills, baby.
Brandon Allen sets up shop now at the 14-yard line. LSU has surrendered some yards through the middle of their line this season. And Jonathan Williams, 32, the sophomore from Allen, Texas, is met by Quan Alexander after an 8-yard gain. Second and 2 coming up.
Both of these offenses run very similar styles of offense, very physical at the line of scrimmage. That was just a lead that time, and Kiro Small, the fullback, one of the leaders of this team, had an excellent block. But stretch, power, counter, draw, shifts, trades, motions. This is Wisconsin South here.
Oh, absolutely.
For the Arkansas offense.
5 or more yards on first down makes Arkansas a much more difficult team to defend. They fake the option, and it's wide open across the middle. Keon Hatcher wrestled down at the 35-yard line. Now remember, LSU is starting Ricky Jefferson, the freshman, his first career start at safety in place of Corey Thompson. They're going to test that perimeter today.
Yeah, there's no question, and great play call there on second down, running the fake naked pitch and just hitting the post pattern across the middle. LSU today, Tim, is going to have to play with tremendous eye discipline. As heavy as Arkansas likes to run the football, they have to be able to be disciplined and not get beat like they did on that last one.
On first down, twin tight end look again. And they go with Alex Collins. And he'll get inside the 15. Should get him over 1,000 yards for the season as a freshman with that carry. And a look at the Verizon red zone this season. The Hogs have scored a touchdown on 61% of its red zone appearances, just below the national average of 63%.
Yeah, and that's got to be the 103rd in the country down here in the red zone. This is an important area for Arkansas. If they want to beat this LSU team, they got to be able to get touchdowns, not here, instead of kicking field goals.
Keep an eye on the tight end position. They got 2 of them in there again. And it's Collins burrowing ahead again to about the 13-yard line. DJ Welter, 31, makes the stop, a gain of 2.
Welter at that middle linebacker position. You have to be able to read your keys. That time he comes underneath the offensive lineman. The center, Travis Swanson, that great player who's arguably the best center in college football this year. When you're pulling, Tim, you have to stay tight to the down blocks, and that time Swanson was too wide, and Welter took advantage of it by coming underneath.
Jonathan Williams has come back in, the lone setback. 3 tight ends this time for Arkansas. 3rd and 2. Play fake, there's the tight end. We mentioned that with 3 of them out there, the freshman Hunter Henry from Little Rock, Arkansas, Pulaski Academy. This kid has an unbelievable future.
Yeah, he's a great player with what it is he brings to this team. Huge potential, not necessarily a burner, but he's got a ton of potential. He's an inline blocker. He'll mix it up, and this team needs more of those Hunter Henrys if they want to get themselves to the next level and get back to winning like this program's used to.
Parade All-America coming out of high school. First, Kiro Small back into the game. A direct snap right to him. Stopped at the 1-yard line. Oh, they say he got in. Late call. He gets in for the touchdown on the direct snap to Kiro Small. They'll credit him with 3 yards on that. It appeared as though, at first glance, he was stopped at the 1, but a late surge right. He did not go down, and he stayed right through it and scored the touchdown.
Tremendous leg drive by Kiro Small, one of the players that head coach Bret Bielema told us that had really bought into his system, and that was an important drive for Arkansas.
Zach Hocker with the extra point. Perfect 25 of 25 on points after this season, make it 26 of 26. The battle for the boot is all tied here in the first quarter. Arkansas and LSU. No one happier than this man, Dante Carr, junior from Gainesville, Georgia, who committed the hold on that kickoff return of 100 yards by Corliss Marshall, as the Razorbacks took over from their 15-yard line with a very healthy drive, leading with out of the Wildcat, Kiro Small taking it in. Officially, it was an 86-yard Razorbacks drive to tie the game at 7. Hocker will kick it away. Odell Beckham Jr. will say no, not this time. And the Tigers will take over at the 25. A little reverse action to Odell Beckham Jr. Look out. Very few more dangerous than this guy. Following Mettenberger with some interference in front of him, out to the 43-yard line, a 19-yard gain.
Love the play call. We were expecting Arkansas to be able to come out, but what running reverses does, you see all that fast flow in the red going to the right, that will make them stay home. That's going to open up the outside perimeter running game for LSU. That's a good play call to get those backers thinking early.
And whistle stops play as LSU was in a hurry getting ready to run another one very quickly. I don't know that they got the ball set, and that was the problem. And Hubert Owens came over and said, let's set the ball here.
Yeah, it seemed was like what LSU is doing, Timmy, is every time they get a big first down, they want to run hurry up. That prevents the defense from making substitutions and can catch them on their heels a little bit.
Jeremy Hill. He gets it to midfield. Pick up a 5. Quick pitch again to Hill. Jeremy has the first down to the 40-yard line of Arkansas. Eric Bennett wrestles him down. Gain of 10.
LSU is pulling their play side guards, trying to get to the perimeter on almost a G scheme. If nobody's there, they turn up on the backers. Remember, we talked about what that reverse does. That second level pursuit from those linebackers relate, which allowed old number 33 there to get the first down.
First down, quick hitch out to Landry. Jarvis Landry with button hook inside the 30 and ushered out at the 25. Brooks Ellis, freshman linebacker, making the stop. A couple of missed tackles, one by the weak side linebacker Bryce Holmes.
And Jarvis Landry is one of the best slot receivers in the game of college football, and certainly in this conference, because when he has the ball in his hands, he's special, he's explosive, tough player. Love his hands, Tim. As good a hands as I've seen in quite some time, and certainly a nice compliment to Odell Beckham Jr.
Twin tight end look for LSU. Landry in motion. J.C. Copeland is coming at fullback. The 275-pounder leads the way for Terrence McGee, and he's shut down at the line of scrimmage. Darius Philon, one of the outstanding freshmen up front for this football team. 5 tackles and a forced fumble in that overtime loss, I should say, to Mississippi State last week. This youngster has a high ceiling for the Razorbacks.
Great potential, great story too. Wanted to quit the game of football. Took a couple days away, stepped away from the program, realized how important it was for him, and came back. And the rest, as they say, is going to be history. This young man, number 91, is going to be a good player in the future.
It was a gain of 2, so it's 2nd and 8. McGee already with 1 touchdown today. How about another? Boy, you talk about caving in the left-hand side of that LSU offensive line. They did the job. La'el Collins, youngster who may be contemplating his future after today, albeit a junior, number 70. He laid a heck of a block.
Yeah, it's just a pin and pull scheme where they try and get to the perimeter. They down block on the play side and pull the lineman out in front. And once again, you see an excellent effort by Terrence McGee running through arm tackles. Yards after contact is something that McGee specializes in, and he displayed it on that last play.
Delahousie. Another drive filled with big plays of better than 15 yards, including a reverse at one point. And Terrence McGee has 2 touchdowns. LSU leads by 7. Hairston will be kicking it away, and Corliss Marshall, who did take the ball 100 yards the other way, only to have it called back for a holding penalty, is back deep. This one's short. He gathers it in, and it looks to find some room. Probably a nice idea to put a little air underneath this one. So he gets it out to the 23-yard line, and first down for Arkansas. Out pattern to Hatcher, complete at the 31-yard line. Jalen Mills makes the stop. A little less than a yard shy of a first down for the Razorbacks.
Really nice job that time of the offensive line being able to give quarterback Allen some time to be able to throw. But that ball again came out a little bit late to me, and that's been one of the things that's cost Brandon Allen some interceptions this year, is he doesn't get the ball out as quickly as he can sometimes. That time there was a Big completion, but he's got to be careful about that.
His offensive coordinator, Jim Chaney, one-time NFL coordinator with the Rams and most recently with the Tennessee Volunteers, says, you know, I really have faith in him. We just have been a little bit late because of the injury bug. Kiero Small, who had the touchdown earlier out of the Wildcat, moves ahead for a couple of yards.
And there's something to be said about that too, Timmy, because it takes a quarterback sometime to week 4, week 5 to kind of get yourself into rhythm. And he went down early on in that Southern Miss game and then missed a couple games. So he was starting to get some momentum, but because of the injury, it was a huge setback for him personally and for this team. But now he's kind of getting to the end of the season where some of those timing throws and getting that ball out on time starting to come.
Corliss Marshall now dots the I for Arkansas, becomes the third tailback utilized. He can really get to the edge with his speed and quickness. Out to the 40-yard line. Craig Lawson made the stop after a gain of 6.
Just a great job by Kiero Small getting up to that second level and being able to block those safeties that were coming down. Anytime you get to the perimeter, it starts to loosen that defense up. I would expect that Arkansas, because of that, will now try and come back inside between the tackles once you loosen that defense up.
The Battle of the Boot is underway. The rivalry that is the state of Arkansas and LSU. For many years they met in bowl games when one team was in the Southwest Conference, but since '92 they've been neighbors within the SEC.
The day after Thanksgiving, but there's been nothing sluggish about LSU's offense today. They've been getting it early on in the ball game. Zach Mettenberger finding Landry Jones, and then Terrence McGee picking up where he left off from last week running the football, but he wasn't by himself. Hill on the reverse to Odell Beckham Jr. to get those linebackers to loosen up, and then finally Terrence McGee show again, running through arm tackles, getting it done. LSU's offense underneath Cam Cameron, Tim, has been explosive this year, and we're seeing it today.
2nd and 1. Don't think he made it. Just shy of midfield. Lamine Barrow making the stop. Young man from John Ehret High School and senior that we talked to the other day. This is a very meaningful game for him.
Yeah, he comes unblocked off the edge, and he's one of those players, local kid from the New Orleans area. Talked a lot about how this team has become his family, his extended family, having some issues. But this is 3rd and inches, Timmy. Arkansas desperately needs to get this, especially with the ball at midfield, and keep this drive going.
Small is the up back. It's the quick toss into the boundary. And it's Javonte Herndon coming across from the wide receiver position. They've run a lot of misdirection and reverses with him. They put him at that position along with Kiero Small and then ran the quick, looks almost like an option, but really not, into the boundary.
Yeah, it's called a naked pitch, and it's a good job. It's a misdirection play, and you run it because you want to get leverage on the defense on the outside. They run this to the boundary, and a big missed tackle that time by number 29, Ricky Jefferson. Good job getting out in front by that offensive line. The tackle, Bray Cook, being out in front. Guys are making effort trying to get downfield as Arkansas goes hurry up here. Got it.
A wide open tight end, Henry. Touchdown, Arkansas. And that time going hurry up really helped Arkansas. LSU was not prepared defensively in that sequence.
Spot on, partner. And that's exactly why these teams do it. After big sudden change or after big plays and first downs, get the defense on the hill. You see pre-snap guys are still trying to get lined up, and because of that, nobody covers what's going to be a very good player and has a bright future here for Arkansas, and that's Hunter Henry.
Yeah, they simply were not lined up. The extra point. Well, as favored teams sometimes find out in rivalry games, it can go against you. The Razorbacks playing loose and throwing all of the opportunities they have in from that offensive standpoint. With along with Aaron Taylor and Christina Ackman, Tim Brando here in Baton Rouge. The day after Thanksgiving, and LSU is tied up with the Razorbacks. Both offenses really moving the ball quite well, getting what they want to have done. Here, Alfred Blue is back deep for LSU.
Also plays decoy a little bit, Tim. He was the decoy for Johnny Football last week.
Yes, he was. handled the scout team duties in preparation for that game.
Welcome back to Tiger Stadium. We've got a tied ball game here, 14-14, and one guy to keep an eye on, like the guys mentioned, Odell Beckham Jr. is apparently still dealing with a sore back that he suffered in that game against Texas A&M. He did go in the locker room briefly. He is back out here doing some minor stretching, kind of favoring the back. He's been on the bike doing some high knees, but guys, definitely keep an eye out for Odell Beckham Jr. and that sore back he's dealing with.
Well, they use him so much, Christina. Thank you. A second in the nation in all-purpose yards. And what a valued commodity someone like Odell Beckham is. And like Jarvis Landry, no one goes to the ball in the air any better than Odell Beckham Jr. Jeremy Hill carrying it ahead for 5 yards for the Tigers. Jarrett Lake wearing the number 98 today. Lake, the outside linebacker, normally wears 39. One of the team captains for this Razorbacks team, Robert Thomas, broke his ankle earlier this year. And what Bret Bielema decided to do was honor one of the players on defense by having him wear Robert Thomas's number. Each game, one of the defenders has done that. This week it's Lake, as you see Hill out ahead again for another 5.
Yeah, Lake's a pretty versatile player. They started him out as Sam, then moved him to Will, the weak side linebacker, then had him playing in the middle at the Mike linebacker. And now he's finally back to Will, which is probably, he's the type of player as a senior that's going to be missed on this team, and a big reason why, 3rd on the team in tackles.
On first down, Mettenberger looking for Landry on the post. Just a bit overthrown, isolated with Tevin Mitchell, number 8 for Arkansas.
Well, that time Zach Mettenberger had the opposite problem of Brandon Allen. His was a little early and a little overthrown. But we talked about Jarvis Landry just driving into the receiver. Good move inside. Anytime you can get behind and inside on a post route, it should have been a touchdown. Really nice job of running that route against Tevin Mitchell. But the ball just being underthrown, and hey, that's what Zach Mettenberger does. When you watch this young man throw, he can spin it. Tremendous arm strength.
Needed a little more air underneath that one. On second down. Pumps it for Hill underneath, and Jeremy Hill has a first down. To the 42-yard line, and it's Jarrett Lake, again 98, making the tackle out of Jenks, Oklahoma. Jenks High School, 12-yard gain.
Tim, it's plays like this where you really see Cam Cameron, his imprint and the impression he's made on Zach Mettenberger. Keeping his eyes downfield, there's nothing there. He doesn't force the ball. He takes the check down. Take what the defense gives you, and that's a big reason why a lot of NFL scouts are looking to Zach Mettenberger because of how he's been coached by Cameron.
Again, under duress, ball is loose. Arkansas says they have it, and they do. Brooks Ellis with the hit. The fumble forced by Mitchell and the recovery by Ellis. 34 with the hit, 51 with the recovery.
Arkansas this year has had 25 sacks coming into this game, and ball security is of the utmost importance. And this is, if you're an Arkansas team, this is what it is you try and do. They just run a double weak side cross dog.
Yep.
Pressure off the outside edge. That offensive line of LSU that played so well last week lets guys come free, and Zach Mettenberger in that hole, he's got to feel that pressure. It's right in his face. Doesn't have time to react and tuck that ball away. Mitchell does a good job jarring it free.
So the Razorbacks with a tremendous opportunity before the half to take the lead. Jonathan Williams in the backfield, and he'll carry it forward to about the 26, where forward progress is stopped. Gain of about 3. Welter, 31, the first to make contact.
This is basically like a do-over for Arkansas. They threw an interception in the end zone, gave the ball back to LSU, but their defense for Bret Bielema is starting to show up and make plays. This is what you have to do. There is some talent on this Arkansas team. I think for Bret Bielema to be able to get a win today against this LSU team, this is a season saver if the Razorbacks can pull off, especially coming to this game being 24-point underdogs.
Look at those rushing yards. Now, understand that in college football, sacks count against your overall rushing game, but still, that's a lot given up as you see that pass incomplete, intended for Herndon, knocked away by Rashard Robinson, the freshman who was the SEC Freshman Player of the Week for the job he did against Evans, Mike Evans of Texas A&M, right here on CBS this past Saturday.
I mean, that was pretty gutsy of John Chavis to start Rashard Robinson against Mike Evans, but what a good job that he did being able to do it. This is a big third down again for Arkansas. Watch draw, watch screen from this formation.
Williams is the setback. They now move back into the shotgun.
Pressure off the edge.
Clock winding down on Allen. And it's the slant. And it's caught at the 16-yard line. Julian Horton with his first grab. It's not been the kind of senior season he had hoped for. Scored on an end around last week in that game against Mississippi State. They used both he and Herndon on that play. Something LSU's defense had to have scouted before this afternoon's game. 1st and 10.
Screens, draws, delays again out of this shotgun formation.
Under a minute remaining in the half. A pump fake and a beauty. Thrown to the corner, incomplete. Horton, the intended receiver again. And he was defended by Tre'Davious White, another one of the outstanding freshmen from Green Oaks High School in Shreveport, Louisiana. Young man's got a tremendous ceiling to play in this league for a long, long time. The same hometown as Mo Claiborne, now playing for the Dallas Cowboys. Claiborne, a Fair Park product. 2nd and 10. Twin tight end look for the Razorbacks. Play fake again. They go the opposite way to the tight end, Henry. And he's down at the 5 as Lawston undercuts him there. Picked up with 12. 1st and goal, Razorbacks. 2 timeouts left. 44 seconds left on the clock.
Very impressed by the play calling of Jim Chaney because of how difficult LSU makes it for you to be able to run the football when you get down low. John Chavis doesn't like to be run on, gets in that bear defense, and the further teams get down into the red zone, the more people he brings into the box. But again, the bread and butter of Arkansas is running the football. It'd be interesting to see what they dial up here, Tim. This is a big series for them.
Williams led to about the 2, and down there you saw the graphic moments ago, the numbers in the 2nd quarter. It has been owned by Arkansas. 136-24 before that play, and the timeout taken with 13 seconds left.
Coverage.
Over the middle, incomplete.
There might have been a little contact on there, Tim.
Pass was intended for Hatcher. Jalen Mills was defending.
Ricky Jefferson was a little tight on this crossing route, this shallow cross. You see him right there.
Yeah.
Some late pressure there, and here's Arkansas and the Wildcat, the same formation they scored the touchdown on earlier.
Piero Small again. Well read by Lawston. The veteran safety comes up to make the play. Well, a tackle for loss was exactly what you needed in that sequence. Only 1 tick left, and a timeout taken by Arkansas.
There's Lawson there. Had a huge game last week, 7 tackles and an interception. And when you read that, somebody has to set the edge of the defense. Lawson attacks, keeps his outside shoulder and arm free, and comes up with a huge touchdown-saving tackle.
The field goal try coming for Hocker, who has been outstanding in field goals this year, 11 out of 13. And Hocker puts it through. They have just absolutely dominated LSU in the 2nd quarter. And it's their first lead of the afternoon, and it comes with no time remaining in the 1st half. They outscored the Tigers 10-0 in this quarter. Well, that's the end of the 1st half with our score 17-14. Let's go to our studios now and Adam Zucker. Adam? Here in Baton Rouge, 10 unanswered for the Razorbacks in the 2nd quarter. They lead 17-14 here in our Home Depot SEC on CBS matchup. And let's go downstairs. Christina Acro with Les Miles.
All right, Coach, let's look specifically at the 2nd quarter. They outgain you 138 points to 24 yards, excuse me. What are you going to make correcting in the 2nd half?
Well, we gave up 3 sacks that we just can't give up. You know, we're going to have to protect our passer. We like our throws. We're going to continue to throw the football. We made some adjustments there in protection. We should be better. Defensively, they ran the football well. And then we busted coverage several times. We got a young guy in a position he was unfamiliar in and gave up a big pass. So we feel like we've made those adjustments. Got to play the slant a little bit better, and let's go play tackle football.
Give me an update on Odell Beckham Jr. He seems to be dealing with some soreness over here.
Yeah, he's trying to loosen up. I don't know exactly if we'll get him back or not. It's the good news is not serious.
Thank you, Coach.
See ya.
That would be serious, though, if he couldn't play in the second half, at least for the outcome of this game. He's been LSU's big play guy. As you look at the stats, certainly the quarterback sacks affecting the overall rushing yards, but LSU was very effective running the football early in this game, particularly Terrence McGee.
And that's what they have to be able to get back to, Tim, is running the football. This offensive line that played so well last week has to be able to get in some second and third and manageable situations. Those 3 sacks that Les Miles talked about is the strength of the Arkansas defense. They have to stay away from that.
And this Razorbacks team is pumped. They are excited. They were coming out of the chute to open this second half, and you could feel how exhilarated they were. And this is a team, when you unpack them, you know they are better than 0-7 in the conference. They really are.
There's no question. We talked about it being senior day for LSU. What I did mention is that I was crying before and after the game because it took us too long to be able to get going against Boston College. That tryptophan from all that turkey that LSU ate certainly seemed to affect them in the second half. They just need to be able to come out and execute and do the things that they're capable of doing, but they might have created a monster because Arkansas believes they can win the second half as well.
Bret Bielema, in his first season at Arkansas, I believe he felt he'd come into this final week looking for his first conference win, but his guys have not wavered. They've stayed with his process, and that kick is deep enough into the end zone that it will not be returned. Alfred Blue decides not to take it out. And speaking of Bret, earlier, just as halftime was getting underway, Christina chatted with the Arkansas head coach.
All right, thanks, Tim. Coach, 123 rushing yards in this first half. Very successful in the ground game. Is this the best you've been able to run the ball in a half all season?
We've done some good things. Obviously, we got to capitalize it. We can't get ourselves down here in a great situation and turn the ball over. We run it every play. We might do that if we keep having success. But I like the way our guys are playing. I like the 2 defensive stops in a row, and it's a 4-quarter game. We're excited to be here.
I hear you're telling your players coming off the field, one more half. What's the message going to be in that locker room?
Well, we've done well at times. We played a 3-quarter game, a 3.5-quarter game. We played a 4-quarter game, didn't win it in overtime. I want to put together a 4-quarter game. If we go to overtime, we're going to be the last ones off that field.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Quick pitch to Jeremy Hill on first down. He's ahead for 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Brooks Ellis, for the linebacker, making the stop. Oh, what Bret Bielema was talking about is so accurate to finally finish a game. And Jim Chaney, his offensive coordinator, said the same thing. We've been close. They have stayed away from negative yardage on first down, which with this offense is really a good thing.
Yeah, there's no question. And that's his bread and butter is the offense. But this defense really needs to be able to find ways to continue to get themselves off the field by winning on 1st and 2nd down. And 1st down was won by the Razorbacks on that last play.
Terrence McGee, the lone setback. And they quickly come with pressure to the Razorbacks. Mettenberger throws it right at the feet of McGee.
And see, Tim, this is the problem that you had. We talked about the pressure coming off the outside edge. Great move by Trey Flowers, navigating, coming off that outside edge. They run the back at him. They're trying to run a screen. McGee kind of gives them the okey-doke on the quick faux block there, but because of Flowers' quickness, he was able to get back there so fast that it disrupted the underneath screen.
3rd and 12.
One down lineman with his hand on the ground, but here they come.
Plenty of time for Mettenberger. That pass is tipped and intercepted. Pulled down by Alan Turner. And he's knocked out of bounds at the 37. Pass floated on Mettenberger. It was too high for Jarvis Landry. And on the tip drill, Turner picks it off.
You're going to see some late pressure off the right side of your screen. Right there by Zach Mettenberger. Kind of just gets him off of his spot a little bit. It's a little weird looking front. There's some late pressure. They're running some twists up there. You don't know if that affected the throw, but Zach Mettenberger uncharacteristically off target. When you throw high over the middle, Tim, bad things happen.
That was Brandon Lewis, 89, that came with that late pressure, but that pass was just a floater. Got away from Zach. On 1st and 10, Allen goes to Kiero Small. Tackle made by Taj Jones, number 58. Senior linebacker from Sulphur, Louisiana.
LSU needs to wake up, Tim. They're playing lethargic and they're playing bad, and they're leaving too much slack in the line for a team that desperately needs a win. This could save Arkansas' season if they beat them there, and they keep giving them short fields by turning the football over.
On second down, there's a wide open opportunity for Jonathan Williams. He got past the initial LSU surge, and then once he bounced off, he was able to set sail for 18 yards. The missed tackle by Jones, 58, enabled him to spring forward.
Keep your eye on Kiero Small, the fullback. Just a delay draw, bam, getting right up inside there, creates the seam in a two-way go. And how about the flexibility and the agility and feet of Jonathan Williams to be able to spin out of that? Boy, I tell you what, Timmy, the Razorbacks are taking it to the Tigers right now.
3 tight ends. Williams, the lone setback. He takes it towards the boundary. And is stopped about a yard behind the line of scrimmage by Daniil Hunter, number 94. And let's take a look at the Verizon red zone. The Razorbacks with the 22 touchdowns on 36 trips in, just under the national average of 63% for Bret Bielema. It's going to be a real confidence-building victory for him. No postseason opportunities, so no additional practices, but recruiting could get off to a great start with a victory here against LSU.
Watch the stretch play.
Play fake. Allen with all kinds of time looking for Henry, the tight end, who was well defended by Tredarius Wright, number 16. Tredavious is awfully good. So is Lamine Barrow. Barrow was back there too, number 18.
Well, Timmy, this is what I think LSU was expecting as well, which is a stretch play, but it's play action, which is a great call. But again, extremely good coverage, and the safety coming over there late to help. But this is what allowed LSU last week to be able to beat Texas A&M, playing aggressive on the outside edge. But John Chavis down here likes to be able to blitz. This is a very big down for LSU. They have to force a field goal here.
Here comes the pressure off the corner on 3rd and 10. Deion Hatcher on the receiving end in front of Lawston. He is stopped at the 11-yard line. So 4th down and 2 coming up, decision time, and they're going to bring in their kicker Zach Hawker to boot it through and get a 6-point lead.
Assuming that they make it, Tim, but we talked about it at the beginning of the game. Field goals were not going to beat this LSU team, particularly with as explosive as their offense can be.
28 yards the try. So an early turnover by LSU leads to more points for Arkansas. They close the half with a fumble by Mettenberger, open the half with an interception, and it leads to 6 additional points. And that's the margin for Arkansas. They've got the lead. Here's the kick from Hawker. Alfred Blue again, very deep in the end zone. Decides to, well, he thought about it, and now better of it, takes a knee. Terrence McGee is in the backfield. Play fake to him, and rolling Mettenberger shoots it for Landry. Full extension on his part. It's caught at the 35. There's another Fresno State trying to be the BCS party crasher this season. On 1st down, Mettenberger looking long for Landry, and again overshoots his man. About a step and a half too far for Zach with the 2 post routes that have been run, and you can see that he's not happy with himself.
No, he's not. They had Landry in motion, and he was there. He got inside and behind the receiver, but the ball was just overthrown, and that's several times that we've seen balls be off target for Zach Mettenberger on deep throws. He's got a gun, but he's just not on it.
The anxiety is there. I don't think there's any denying that senior day has gotten to Zach just a little today. There's McGee, nothing doing on the sweep, going to the wide side of the field. We touched on that Fresno State game. Don't forget, next week, after the SEC championship, the Mountain West title game will be coming your way here on CBS Sports late in the evening, and you'll be on hand to see that one. Aaron Taylor, I know you're looking forward to it.
Oh, yes, I am. There's a couple good receivers in that game with Devontae Adams and Josh Harper. Probably the second best combination to what LSU has with Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr.
3rd down and 9. Quick look in. That one was overthrown, but Landry, like that touchdown catch he had in Fayetteville last year, hands of Velcro, bringing that one in with one hand.
The way that Jarvis Landry attacks the football is so impressive. You have to have those big old meat paws as a receiver, and you also need your playmakers to step up and do something to energize the offense. It could have been that last play.
Well, he and Beckham just own the football when it's in the air. Jeremy Hill, downhill, all the way for a touchdown. 52 yards for the sophomore from Baton Rouge.
That's exactly what the doctor ordered, Timmy. Just going back to that weak side zone play where they pin and pull. They pull the senior. Great blocking on the outside edge again by Lyle Collins, the left tackle. And Jeremy Hill goes for the touchdown untouched. Last week they did it running through arm tackles. This time it was perfect execution and blocking up front.
Their 3rd rushing touchdown, each of them 20-plus yards. The others were from Terrence McGee. And Hill now has 100 total yards rushing on the day. But without Jarvis Landry making this play, not many guys can do it. He made it look easy. Jeremy would not have had the chance to get downhill and into the end zone to reclaim the lead by 1. Cameron said that, I think, best. When he thinks of Les Miles, he thinks of Les's dad and of Bo. And if you happen to say something about Bo to Les, immediately you'll see the endearing effect it has on him. Chet Beckler was exactly the same. It's about the team, and a want to do this and a want to do that. Extra special guy. Alex Collins is in the backfield, takes the quick pitch, tripped up behind the line of scrimmage by Jamarie Rasco, but he does manage to get ahead for a couple of yards before DJ Welter polishes up. That could have been a loss of 3 or 4, but he managed to gain 5 as a result. We had a wonderful night here, our crew here in Baton Rouge. There were a few places to have a quality Thanksgiving meal, and we had one ourselves last night. Jim Cornell, our director, Sellers Shy, our producer. I don't know that they cooked it, but they were certainly on hand.
Watch a stretch play here.
2nd and 5. Deion Hatcher on the quick curl ahead to the 40-yard line. Welter again making the stop, an 11-yard gain and another 1st down.
Well, I tell you what, Arkansas not only took advantage of me and fooled me, but they fooled LSU that time. And you see Odell Beckham Jr. there taking his gloves off and gingerly walking what looks to be back into the locker room. That lower back injury and that contusion that he had certainly affecting his ability to be able to come out and help his team here in the 2nd half.
Henry, the tight end, gives motion and is now up at the top of your screen along with Hatcher, number 4. Collins again. They have gotten about a yard, but that is all.
Yeah, a couple of the last runs that Collins has had, he's cut it back inside. When I was wondering if the right read would be able to bounce it to the outside. That pursuit for LSU in this 2nd half has been a lot better where those cutbacks haven't been there.
Some of the underclassmen, you made a point of this, it is a time of year when some of the underclassmen that do have potential to play at the next level are thinking about maybe other things, and a couple of them admitted to that this week here in Baton Rouge. Lamine Barrow, though a senior, this is it. I mean, he is trying to hold on to every moment he's got, and he was involved in that tackle. Pierre Small, the safety valve coming out of the backfield, makes the grab. wearing the number 18, which is a number that is near and dear to so many. After Matt Monk, who claimed that national championship, the number was given to Jacob Hester, who was part of the national championship team back in 2007. It means a great deal to this young man out of Marrero, John Ehret High. He told us the neighborhood he grew up in, he never dreamt that he'd have a chance to play at LSU and be a senior on senior day here.
Having a nice game, 6 tackles already. They're going to need him to make some more.
A reverse action. Herndon spun down inside the 30 at the 29-yard line. But going back to our conversation with Lamine Barrow, when you hear those kinds of conversations, it humanizes the sport in such a manner that a lot of people forget.
Yeah, no question. I mean, football teams serve as extended families, and a lot of the backgrounds that some of these players come from, including my own, you know, the team serves to be that support network and that safety net. And when Barrow's daughter got sick in the spring before the national championship year, he said Les Miles was always one phone call away and always there to support him. That's extremely meaningful for these players.
On 2nd and 2, they fake the reverse.
Throw it away.
Yeah, no one really open. They wanted to find the tight end Henry, but LSU really had him well defended. Rashard Robinson had a little help in double coverage, so they could not get it to 84.
Yeah, here he is at the top of the screen, going to come over and get out, but just a great job of falling off and sticking with him. Remember, we talked about he's not the speediest of receivers. He's not the type of guy that can split the seam on you and get north and south. And you wonder if Arkansas is going back to the well too much, trying to get the ball to 84 too many times in a row.
3rd and 2, but you wonder if it's 4-down territory. Allen with the out pattern to Herndon. That's a 1st down. We don't have to worry about whether it was 4-down territory. 1st down at the 20. Tre'Davious White, number 16, with the tackle.
Somebody has to be able to take the weak flat defender, and Arkansas just running a simple snag or pivot route, doing a great job by Javonte Herndon versus man coverage. And Brandon Allen, when he's got to throw the football short distances to the outside and the perimeter, has been pretty accurate today and taking advantage of the Tigers out there in the flats.
All 3 wide receivers set to the wide side of the field. On 1st down, Allen looking for, and it's incomplete. Hatcher in the back of the end zone. Not a lot of room before hitting the restraining wall where that padding is located. Tre'Davious White giving chase. Number 16.
Yeah, that was pretty good coverage that time by Tre'Davious White, and Arkansas and Brandon Allen throwing the football. When they take those deep shots across the middle, LSU's just been in tremendous coverage, particularly in this second half. Where Arkansas's had success is those short to intermediate throws where the football's in front of Brandon Allen.
12th play of this drive coming up. It's wide open for Williams. And that's a 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. Jonathan Williams bursting right through a gaping hole.
Keep your eye on 2 people. Travis Swanson, the center, and the fullback Kiro Small. Both have good blocks. Great job. You want to know why Travis Swanson is one of the better centers in the country. That combination block on that backside swap where he doubles the nose tackle and gets up to the 2nd level on the linebacker is the key block and the reason Arkansas is knocking at the end zone here in the red zone.
Captain, preseason All-SEC, All-America performer. Williams again. Wrapped up this time by Anthony Johnson. They have been stopped at the line of scrimmage. A 2nd down coming up.
Well, Arkansas has been so good down here in the red zone today, 4 for 4, and that's really been an area that LSU struggled a little bit. They like to blitz when they get down here, so I'd look for play action, maybe some screens, draws, delays, but running the football up the gut with a crowded box is going to be hard to do here against the Tigers.
Hatcher, the most targeted of the Arkansas receivers. Number 4 is in the slot left.
Nice bubble to the left side.
Corliss Marshall alone setback. He's got it. Speed to get to the edge. Stopped just shy of the 2-yard line inside the 3. Pushed out by Jalen Mills.
Again, the naked pitch is a play that Arkansas has had some success on earlier today, and it's successful right there. Tell you what, Tim, from the 2.5-yard line, and if you're Arkansas and you want to make a statement, take control of the line of scrimmage up front. This is about want to. This isn't about scheme. This isn't about X's and O's. This isn't about John Chavis, the defensive coordinator, against Jim Chaney. This is mano-y-mano and about want to. This is a rivalry game, Tim. This is about the boot.
3rd and goal. Hatcher in motion, top of your screen.
Got him.
Looks for and finds his tight end Henry. Touchdown Arkansas. Off the play fake. His second today. 15 plays, 6:45 off the clock. Methodical, just the way Bret Bielema, the blueprint for his success, the kind of program he wants to run. You called it Wisconsin South. That's it, right there.
No question. And right before that ball was snapped, Brandon Allen looked to his left and gave Hunter Henry a little bit of a nod. And I think John Chavis and that LSU defense was thinking run as much as I was.
And let's not forget the 4th down penalty. You know, deciding to give the look of a potential fake and then drawing the offsides from Anthony Johnson, number 90, for the 4th time today. Kept that drive alive. Stick-to-itiveness. So you say you're playing a team that's winless in the SEC. Well, they're still pretty good. You know, when you think of guys like Hayden Fry and Bill Snyder, Barry Alvarez, some of the best in the business he's been around, he's taken a little from each, and with his own edge has brought a charismatic hold to the process of being a head football coach. And just as you offered that up, Jeremy Hill takes it ahead to the 29-yard line for a gain of 4. Tackle made by Jarrett Lake. Beckham making his way back out. Well, looks like he may have put the purple stockings on.
Trying to keep that sucker warm.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of times with low back injuries, it can affect your hip flexor and all the supporting muscles because the knee bone's connected to the thigh bone. All that stuff in there is connected, so a hip contusion certainly could have affected his back and compounded it.
You learned that while at Notre Dame under Holtz, huh?
But L4 and L5 were blown out on me. I know all about it.
Yeah, Jeremy Hill again bounces through. Right on cue, ahead to the 41-yard line for a first down. Jared Collins, 29, making the tackle after a 12-yard gain.
This is the point where LSU has to be able to take over the football game up front. Ground and pound. I mean, the 3rd quarter is winding to a close here, but take it up front, baby.
The battle for the boot. It's on the line as we head for the 4th quarter, and we'll return to Baton Rouge with Arkansas leading by a score of 27-21. After this message and a word from your local CBS stations. As we prepare for the 4th quarter to begin, look at the scoring by quarters. Arkansas really taking control of the game in the 2nd, carrying it through in the 3rd after a quick turnover, although LSU did respond with a Jeremy Hill 52-yard touchdown run. But the boot is very much in peril in the state of Louisiana as we open the 4th with the underdog Razorbacks leading by 6. Tim Brando along with Aaron Taylor, Christina Agra, happy to have you with us. Landry becomes the focal point of the passing game, but as you mentioned, Aaron, they need to do it this way, on the ground with Jeremy Hill and more downhill. Ahead to midfield, Alan Turner, the free safety, makes the stop for Arkansas.
No question, Tim. I mean, that's the strength of this team, and that's the identity of this team, is running the football downhill. And here you see LSU using a little bit of hurry up to try and get this first down.
Yep. You know what? Mettenberger with a second surge.
Look at that. He's still up on his feet.
He doesn't want to play his last game, and he doesn't want to go down either.
Tell you what, I enjoyed our visit with Cam Cameron. You see, Arkansas was just late to the party, and man, the left tackle, Lyle Collins, absolutely blowing dudes off the ball. Got to get ready, man. When that ball's there and that center's over the ball, as a defense, you have to get yourself set.
Well, everyone in the world knows it's got to be number 80 that's the #1 target in the passing game. What with Odell Beckham Jr. not in there. 1st and 10. Again, the play fake. And Landry running the post. Pass is underthrown, but he made the adjustment. What a catch! What a remarkable catch by Landry. That should have been intercepted. And Mettenberger is down.
And he looks to be in pain.
He got hammered by Byron Jones.
Byron Jones has been winning at that center position. And remember, that's a backup center in there, Ethan Posick for Elliott Porter. And Mettenberger got walloped.
And McGee got hammered too. He's banged up.
But
watch
how
this
about
catch.
The effort of Landry, man.
We made the statement, when the ball is in the air, no one adjusts better as a tandem than Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. That is just off the charts good. Great. 32 yards to Landry.
Landry's a playmaker for him, been doing it all season long. We see what he does on third down. See what he does in the red zone, and here comes up with a huge catch, Timmy, but LSU has much, much bigger problems. Zach Mettenberger's looking in extreme pain, and it's on that leg that's heavily braced.
That's Anthony Jennings, the freshman from Marietta, Georgia, who may be coming in, and boy, our concern now for Mettenberger, whose knee has been a problem. He's been nicked up this year with it. You might recall.
It's hyperextended.
Looks like a hyperextension, doesn't it?
Oh, I can't watch.
And at the conclusion of the Alabama game, I think a lot of people remember watching Zach sort of crawling and then picking himself up and going back to the sidelines. Just a moment ago, a standing ovation for Zach Mettenberger. His final game at LSU as a senior. Interestingly, his running mate at Georgia, Aaron Murray, on senior day, torn ACL, done for his career. And we certainly wish Zach all the best as Odell Beckham comes to check on him. The crowd really into it now as Anthony Jennings comes into the game after an inspirational reception by Jarvis Landry of 32 yards. Puts the Tigers just outside the red zone at the 21. This is a very physical freshman that they've used on short yardage many times this year. Stephen Rivers is another backup from Athens, Alabama, the brother of Phillip Rivers, also on the roster for LSU as they take a look at that right knee that appeared to have been hyperextended for Mettenberger. Hill ahead for a couple, and that's it.
Now remember, LSU's been doing well by staying ahead of the chains, Timmy, because of that penalty. They're 7th of the game, and all of which have been pre-snap penalties. They're now behind the chains as another Tigers down on the ground.
Hawkins. This time it's Hawkins with Anthony Jennings at quarterback. There's the pressure. He can run. Gets ahead to about the 20. He's very good at tucking it and running it. Ahead for about a 3-yard gain there. It'll make it 3rd down and 9.
And remember, Arkansas can rush the passer with their 2 great ends, Trey Flowers and Chris Smith. This works to the advantage of the Arkansas defense. What will this backup quarterback do? They're in the red zone. A touchdown and extra point will put them up by 1. How do the Tigers respond?
Craven Durrell, Cadron Boone, and Landry, the 3 wide receivers for LSU. Jennings overthrown for the tight end Dixon. Boy, and he had it at the 16-yard line, but the pass was just a little too high. Let's go down to Christina Ackra's got an update on Zach Mettenberger.
Well, Tim, the medical staff is looking at him. It is his left knee. They don't know the extent of the injury. His mom standing right behind him with a very concerned look on her face. Zach obviously in some pain, but we're not sure exactly the extent of what has happened to Zach Mettenberger's left knee.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's, again, a knee that had been a problem throughout the course of the year, being nicked up. As you see, Colby Delahousie, they've decided now to opt for the field goal to make it a 3-point game. It'll be a 37-yard try. And they boot it through. Went on 4th down earlier, decided to take the 3 this time.
And had they taken those last 3 the last time, Tim, this ball game would be tied. More when we come back. Can the Razorbacks find a way to win? We'll see next.
Arkansas with a 27-24 lead.
With just under 5 minutes to go in this game, and Arkansas with the lead, they're obviously going to go to the run game, and that 4-minute offense will be able to chew up the clock.
Yep. Kick is Deep to Corliss Marshall. He elects not to bring it out. Arkansas will have it at their own 25-yard line.
The Arkansas offense has only been on the field for 3 plays in the last 11 minutes of clock time. Arkansas has to be more successful here on this last drive.
No first downs in the last 11 minutes for them. Right away, Alex Collins forges ahead beyond the 30 to the 31.
Tim, what I loved about that run is the patience of Alex Collins. He let the blocks set themselves up. He followed the blocking and read it perfectly and gashed that LSU defense on first down. What this gives Arkansas the ability to do is maybe get Brandon Allen, use his arm a little bit, and see if they can get a cheap one and get some chunk yardage here throwing the football.
Yeah, not a bad idea to go Wildcat as they did. Remember, they used Kiero Small in that Wildcat position for a touchdown earlier in the game. Now going with Collins there, at least a moment ago. 2nd and 4. Nothing doing this time for Collins on the handoff. Maybe a yard, and that's all.
That was just a dive right up the middle, and they ran some orbit motion over the top to see how LSU would be able to respond. But Timmy, the last time that they won was October 13th of last year against Kentucky. Arkansas needs a huge play here on 3rd down to increase their chances to get their first SEC win since the middle of last year.
3rd and 3. Allen, Hatcher has it at the 34. That won't be enough. It'll be 4th and 1. Hatcher thought he had the first down. He did not.
And now decision time, buddy. Do you want to turn this football over back to LSU? At this point, probably with a backup quarterback, you're strongly thinking about punting the football. But again, you got to know where the sticks are to be able to get the first down if you're Keon Hatcher.
They are lined up in a punt formation on 4th and less than a yard.
Their last game, they went for a fake punt and it got stopped. They elect to kick this one here.
And it's to Landry, and it's deep. Fair catch, and he's going to hope that it gets into the end zone. It will not.
Kick.
It will not.
What a kick.
Down at the 1-yard line. And that's where not having Odell Beckham Jr., your normal return man, may come into play. Brooks Ellis going down there to down it, and Irwin Hill, another Aussie from City College of San Francisco by way of Bendigo, Australia, just hit the perfect long 65-yard 9-iron effect. Doesn't get any more difficult than this, does it? That's normally what they bring Jennings in to do for Mettenberger. Try on 4th and 1 to sneak it in, and that's been primarily his role this season as the backup quarterback along with Stephen Rivers. But now the task is a lot more difficult.
Yeah, no question. And LSU's been very balanced this second half. 17 rushes, 13 passes. At some point, this young quarterback's going to have to throw the ball. We said it was going to be Zach Mettenberger's arm, but at some point Jennings is going to have to let this thing go. Perfect opportunity for Arkansas to get this ball back with some time.
Play fake and a roll.
Great contain.
Over the middle, the tight end's got it. At the 19-yard line, Dylan Gordon on a first down. Jennings looked composed. He found him right in front of Eric Bennett, 14, the free safety.
Trey Flowers did a good job of maintaining contain on the outside, and Jennings stopped, set his feet up. Tim, you hit the nail on the head. He looked composed and delivered a strike for the first down.
Call it the 18-yard line. Just over 2 minutes left. 1 timeout left. Boone broke a bit late on that one, the intended receiver. It goes incomplete. 2nd and 10.
And that time, Trey Flowers, again off that outside edge, was able to get to Jennings, the young quarterback that's a backup. He will start to feel that pressure, and that time he was staring his receiver down. LSU has to make sure that they don't turn this football over because Jennings throws an interception. Young quarterbacks in big moments like this can get nervous and get away from their fundamentals.
Out of the shotgun. Lost that one ahead to Landry. Pretty good idea to find number 80. How he manages to continually get open is incredible to me. Jarrett Collins with the stop. Everybody's got to know he's the One option in the passing game with Odell Beckham Jr. out. It's another Tigers first down.
Man, and if I'm defensive coordinator Chris Ash, I'm trying to pressure this young quarterback. Don't get conservative on us now, Arkansas. You want to win this ball game, get your first win, you're going to have to take it from LSU. Don't get in this bend but don't break philosophy.
He can run. He's a tremendous athlete, and he sets sail all the way to midfield. First down, Tigers. Jennings becoming the story, a 21-yard gain.
Tim, this time they rushed 4 and dropped 7. Good job getting players on the ground. That time Trey Flowers gets knocked over, and he doesn't have contain, and it allows Jennings to use his most dangerous weapon, which is his legs.
Landry at the bottom of your screen, Boone at the top.
Watch screen. Some pressure.
Got away from pressure again and throws towards the boundary, incomplete. Intended for Boone.
And Tim, that's what LSU has to do against a mobile quarterback. Remember what the Tigers did last week against Johnny Manziel. This is what Arkansas has to do. Get upfield, stay in your rush lanes, maintain lane integrity, and be aggressive on the outside edges with your defensive backs. They've got to be able to pressure this young quarterback just like they did to force the incompletion. This theoretically lends itself to the strengths of this Arkansas defense.
Still one timeout remaining for LSU. Jennings pressure, dumps it off the Hill. Jeremy Hill stopped at the line of scrimmage, no gain. So it will be third down and 10 coming up. And Dietrich Wise Jr. there to make the stop, number 48. Timeouts, 1:22 remaining here on the Bayou. 27-24. That old saying, it's not how you start, but perhaps how you finish. Third down and 10. After the timeout, LSU's last one available to them. Jennings looking for Durrell. He's wide open. Touchdown, Traven Durrell. How about that? Beat Jared Collins, number 29. And a prayerful Zach Mettenberger. Happy to see the freshman get the job done in the air. Can you say 99 yards with a freshman at quarterback?
And it was the freshman's arm, Tim, that was the difference.
His first touchdown pass. Durrell has been on the receiving end before. Had a big one against Alabama, you might recall, before the end of the first half of that game. And the extra point by Delahousie gives LSU a 31-27 lead. But you knew someone was going to take Landry away. But for him to be that wide open, how did it happen?
Well, Tim, you caught Jared Collins flat-footed on the double move, just beautifully thrown in a great located football by Anthony Jennings, and it all starts up front, Tim, with protection.
Yeah.
The strength of that Arkansas defense was getting to the quarterback. That time they weren't close. They gave Jennings time.
A little double move, huh?
Durrell did the rest.
Just a little, and it was a twitch. It wasn't really your typical double move. It was, but the fact that there was no help for Collins is something that may have even surprised Anthony Jennings.
As a cornerback, you can never get yourself flat-footed. And you see there Zach Mettenberger giving some love to the heir apparent to the quarterback position at LSU. We talked about that young guy need to make a play with his arm on this drive at some point, Tim. We just saw it. LSU has a belief that they can find a way to win, that playmakers will continually step up, and that's where Bret Bielema is trying to get his team to be. Let's see how they respond. But remember, throwing the football is not their strength. With only 2 timeouts and 1:15 left, they're going to have to throw it, and it's going to have to be the arms of Brandon Allen.
Well, beware of the spot. Beware of the kick return, though. He had a 100-yarder called back earlier, you might recall. Carlos Marshall gets that one out 21 yards, and that's what 3 down linemen. They do bring pressure off the corner, and the pass is complete. Goes to Hunter Henry, a favorite target, the tight end, has a couple of touchdowns. What a future he has. Out to the 32-yard line for a first down.
In 2-minute offense, your goal is to get first downs, period. Stop the clock when possible. Expect perimeter throws at some point.
Allen decides to tuck it and run, slides down at the 40, 2 yards shy of the first down. Tick, 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 down to 43.
8-yard plays aren't going to get it done for this Arkansas offense, and it looks like they elect to take a timeout, Tim.
Yeah. Inspirational play by this defense, though, for LSU, enabled the Tigers an opportunity to take the lead with 2 stops on 3rd and short. Allen under pressure. Sack, loses it. Does LSU have it? It appears as though they may. They do. The forced fumble by Dwayne Thomas, 13, coming with pressure off the corner, and Jamarie Rasco with the recovery, number 59. Junior from Shreveport, Louisiana, coming up with the recovery for the Tigers.
It's at the top of the screen, just comes unblocked. Talking with defensive coordinator John Chavis.
Said he would bring guys off the corner.
He would bring guys. He wants to make them think about what's going on.
Especially with him, because he's got so much speed.
There's no question. Coming off that outside edge, and it's the pressure. Making the quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket was the difference there.
There's your shot of the day, huh? Zach Mettenberger. He'll take those crutches now. Hoist them up like it's a trophy. We get to hold on to the boot, and I'll take my crutches back to the locker room. Well, we wish him well. And that will do it. Partner, the battle for the boot was a memorable one.
We had us a ball game.
Yes, we did.
Well, last week talking with Coach Bielema, he said he showed his team a tape of 10 things that they hadn't done so far, that he liked the progress of this team. There's going to be some good stuff for Arkansas, but they fell short and lost a huge opportunity to have a program-defining win in Bret Bielema's first year. 175-pound boot will stay in Baton Rouge.
They will no longer play this game on Thanksgiving Friday. Beginning next year, LSU will close out its season with Texas A&M. But the battle for the boot will remain as LSU takes it again for the 3rd consecutive year. Christina Acker is standing by with Les Miles.
All right, thanks, Tim. Coach, take me through that final drive after Mettenberger goes out. How you're able to come back and win this one?
We're on the 1-yard line. We got a new quarterback, freshman center, lost the right tackle. And just kind of calmly went off tackle for 3 yards in the quarterback sneak and hit it naked and hit a ball on the sideline and moved the ball down the field. And we really wanted to take a shot. Felt like Traven Durrell, Cameron says Traven Durrell may well be open on this. So we said, let's get in position to get that. Got a first down or 2. Hit a check down really within the 10 yards. Going to cost us a first down. Cost us a first down. Next play, you know, touchdown. Tigers win. Tigers win.
A very emotional senior day. What can you say about these guys that played their last game here in Tiger
Well, I want you to know something. It would not have served us if it had gone any other way. First of all, hats off to Arkansas. Played awfully well. And we had some heroic guys came in there and just say, listen, I do this. I'm calm. I handle this. And that's what they did. What a game. What a completely unusual game.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
As the Tigers win it in unusual fashion for Les Miles today, 31-27. For Aaron Taylor, Christina Acker, Tim Brando saying so long. Tomorrow here on CBS, 2 of the nation's top 4, the greatest Iron Bowl you'll ever see with the most at stake in my lifetime. Number 1 Alabama, number 4 Auburn in the Iron Bowl. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, and Tracy Wolfson will have it. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports. What a Thanksgiving holiday it's been for us here in Baton Rouge. Hope you enjoyed it. The boot is comfortable in BR. Adam and the guys coming up after this break.